In this lesson, we'll learn how to change our general settings to change things like our site title and our tagline. In our last lesson, we started to go over the dashboard. We didn't go too much in depth here, but I really don't want to get too bogged down because there's a lot to learn here and it's too much to really learn at once. So in this lesson, what I want to go over is how to use our general settings to change things like the title our site is using and the tagline. You can see it kind of generated just a generic placeholder site name for me since I registered that custom domain. It represents that wondercrustdomain.com. So to change this, we can come down here in the bottom of our dashboard on the left side under settings, and it's the first settings option up here at the top, just our general settings. And the first thing we can do here is change that site title it gave me. So I want to change this from wondercrust.com to, and I just want to leave that to Wondercrust. So whoops, I'm going to change that W there to an uppercase and just leave it like that. And I also want to add a tagline to my site, and a tagline basically just gives some more information that helps describe your site itself. So it can be something fun about your theme, maybe a quote relevant to your theme or something like that, as long as it kind of goes along with that and gives your user more information, more of an understanding of what your blog or your site is about. And most of the themes for WordPress, the theme, what gives it that look and feel, are going to pull in the site title and the tagline for a site. And we'll see that in just a minute. So this is a pretty important thing to do for your blog. So change the site title. And the tagline I created for my blog is kind of a play on the Tolkien quote, "Not all those who wander are lost." So I kind of used my theme to kind of play off of that. And mine is, "Not all those who wonder find good sauce," which you can see there. So kind of silly, but a little bit fun, and it kind of plays off my theme for a travel food blog. We have a couple more options here we can change. We can change the time zone, which I recommend doing to whatever city or same time zone you are. You can change the date format and the time format as well. And this is going to be pulled into your individual blog posts. So I recommend doing or coming in here and changing this to something you want to use. I like this first option. I think it's pretty friendly and more casual, which is kind of the feel I want to mirror in my blog. So I'm going to leave it at this first option here, but if there's another format you like better, you can certainly change that right underneath there. And for the time format, I'm going to leave it this first one as well. I think the lowercase PM kind of mirrors that casual feel of that date format rather than the uppercase or the military time zone, or not time zone, time format, things like that. So if you want to change that, you do that here. You can change the week your blog starts on, which I'm going to leave at the default of Monday. And also, if you want to change the language your blog is being written in, if you're in a different country, this is where you'd come to do that. So since I'm writing my blog in English, I'm going to leave that English. But if you needed another option, you could do that here. You could change it to Spanish, French, anything like that. And then in addition to changing the blog language it's written in, you could also change the interface language. So if English isn't your first language, you could click on this link and change that to whatever language you speak, and it'll be a lot easier for you to use this interface. So that's where you'd come to do that. And the last option we have in general settings is to change our blog picture or icon. And this is going to be used across WordPress.com. It's kind of like a little icon that shows your blog, and they call it a blavatar. Kind of silly, but I'm going to come here and choose a file to add that to my blog. So I'm going to come here in my desktop, which is where I've saved the file. And then under my project files and our WordPress.com files in the 07 begin, if you just want to test this out and see what it does, I've included my blavatar image for you as well. So I'm going to press open to upload this. Click that button to finalize the upload, and then in just a second it'll give you the option to crop that image. which I created it as a square. I think it's about 500 by 500 pixels, so I don't need to crop it at all. So I'm just going to accept that change to not make it any smaller, and then you can see we're all done. It'll show you the preview, but it looks at 3 different sizes. I have my blog name in there and kind of my blog branding or theme there. So I'm going to go back to the blog options, and I can see it deleted those changes, so I'm just going to go ahead and add those back real fast. Keep those default options and click to save the changes. So as I save that, you can see now up here where my site title was wondercrust.com too, it's now been updated to that title I changed it to, and now we have that blavatar or that blog icon showing rather than just a generic one. And if I click to preview my blog theme, my theme is pulling in that site title in that site tagline. So now you can see it says Wondercrust, and it has my tagline displaying right underneath it, which a lot of themes have that in the same place, kind of like a top center somewhere in what you'd call the header area or the area at the top of your blog or your site. So this is perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to do. So in our next lesson, now that we have our site title and our tagline showing correctly, I want to start choosing and looking at some themes we can use to change the look and feel of our site.